What if I told you the future of AI isn't being built in Silicon Valley, but somewhere else entirely? Today, we're going to dive deep into a brand new model called GLM 4.7. And let me tell you, what this thing reveals about the massive shift happening in open source AI, well, it could completely redefine the entire industry by 2026. You're not going to want to miss this. Let's get right into it.
And hey, if you want to stay ahead of the curve on all things AI, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button right now. All right, let's do this.
Okay, check this out. This quote is from a top VC at Andreessen Horowitz, one of the biggest names in tech investing. He said, 80% of open source AI startups are now building upon Chinese models. 80%. Just let that sink in. This isn't just some little trend we're talking about. No. This is a seismic event, a massive earthquake happening right under our feet. And honestly, most people have absolutely no idea it's even happening. So what's really going on here? Well, we're calling it the open source tsunami. It's a true tectonic shift in the world of AI. And the speed of this change, it's just mind-blowing. So a study by A16Z and OpenRouter, which, they track all this stuff, found that Chinese open source models went from just over 1% of the market in late 2024 to powering nearly 30% of it today. That's not years, that's months. The growth is absolutely staggering. And this chart right here, it just says it all. For the first time in history, developers in China have actually surpassed US developers in total downloads on Hugging Face. And if you don't know, Hugging Face is basically the GitHub for AI models. It's where everyone goes. This is a huge deal because it's a core metric that shows us exactly where all the energy, all the excitement in the developer community is flowing right now. And look, we're not just talking about one or two popular models here. We're talking about entire ecosystems popping up. Get this, just one model family, Alibaba's Qwen, has already led to over 180,000 other models being built on top of it all over the world. That's not just growth, it's a full-on Cambrian explosion of AI innovation. So, the big question is, why? Why is everyone suddenly jumping on this train? Well, it really boils down to three key things. First up, cost. The cost savings are just radical. We're talking 90, even 95% cheaper than the big proprietary models. Second, the performance isn't just catching up. In some cases, it's actually better. I mean, one of these models recently beat GPT-5 in a major US math competition. And third, and this is a big one, it's about control. This idea of digital sovereignty is taking over. It means companies and even entire countries can own and operate their AI on their own terms without being locked into US tech giants. Which brings us perfectly to the star of our show today, GLM 4.7. You can think of this model as the perfect example of this new wave, a true apex predator in the AI jungle. So let's pop the hood and see what really makes this thing tick. So the secret sauce behind GLM 4.7 is its architecture, which is called a mixture of experts, or MOE for short. How does that work? Well, imagine instead of having one giant know-it-all brain trying to do everything, you have a team of specialists. One's an expert in math, another in poetry, another in coding. When you ask a question, a smart router in the middle directs your question to only the relevant experts. This is a game changer because it lets you build these huge, incredibly powerful models that are also super efficient. It's the best of both worlds, massive scale without the insane cost. All right, let's take a quick look at the specs, the nitty-gritty. It's a whopping 358 billion parameter MOE model. But what's really cool is that it's open weight under an MIT license, which means anyone can grab it and build on top of it. It's got a massive 200,000 token context window. To put that in perspective, you could feed it an entire book like The Great Gatsby and it can analyze it all at once. It even has this special deep thinking mode for really tricky multi-step problems. But for developers, the real magic is its focus on being stable, structured, and fast. And the results? Oh, they definitely speak for themselves. On a benchmark called SWE Bench Verified, which is, let me tell you, a brutally difficult test where the AI has to solve real-world coding problems pulled straight from GitHub, GLM 4.7 scored an incredible 73.8%. That is absolutely state-of-the-art. It's proof positive that this thing is a serious coding powerhouse. Okay, so we know it's powerful, but how does it actually stack up against the big dogs? Well, let's stage the ultimate coding showdown. The best way to think about this isn't about which one is best overall, but more about their different personalities. It's kind of like choosing between three different engines for your car. Each one has its own unique style. So in one corner, you've got GLM 4.7. Think of it as the reliable engineer. It's very formal, very restrained, and it follows the instructions to a T. Then, in the other corner, you have something like GPT 5.2, the fast generalist. This one just jumps right into the problem with a ton of confidence. It's quick, it's adaptable, you see? They both get the job done, but they take completely different roads to get there. This table really lays out the trade-offs. You've got GLM 4.7, which is all about structured, predictable code. It's got a really low risk of just making stuff up, which is huge. Then there's Claude Sonnet 4.5. This one is your cautious, careful reasoner. It's fantastic with long documents and super reliable. And finally, GPT 5.2, that's your speed demon. It's incredibly fast and versatile, and it's most likely to get it right on the first try. But, there's a slightly higher risk that it gets a little overconfident. It really comes down to picking the right tool for the job you're doing. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. Why does any of this matter? I mean, why should you care? Well, this global shift isn't just about cool new tech toys. It's a massive strategic change with some serious real-world consequences. Just take a look at this forecast from Gartner. They're predicting that by 2026, more than 60% of all businesses will be using open-source LLMs for at least one thing. This isn't a niche thing for tech nerds anymore. This is going mainstream, right into the core of how businesses operate. And for those businesses, this is becoming what we call a strategic imperative. It's a must-do. Why? Well, they're seeing cost savings around 40% for similar performance. They get to keep full control over their own data, which is non-negotiable with rules like GDPR. They don't get trapped by one single company's pricing or rules. And maybe the biggest reason of all, they can fine-tune these models on their own secret sauce, their own proprietary data, to build something no one else can copy. That's a real competitive edge. So where is all of this headed? Let's put it all together. Based on everything we're seeing today, here's our prediction for the new world order of AI come 2026. Okay, 3 big things are going to happen. First, the AI race is no longer a two-horse race. It's becoming truly multipolar. The cutting edge isn't just in Silicon Valley anymore. Second, for big companies, controlling their own data and AI, that whole sovereignty thing, is going to become a baseline requirement, not just a nice-to-have. And finally, open source is going to become the default. It's not going to be the alternative option anymore. It's going to be the foundation that most new AI is built on. Which leaves us with one final massive question. For the first time in human history, the most powerful tools for creating intelligence are open, they're global, and they're accessible to almost anyone. The US might still control the hardware, the chips, but it looks like China is capturing the software, the very means of development. So the question we all need to be asking ourselves is this: with the tools open and the code global, who is actually going to build the future?